I have $1 million in savings and a pension. Should I delay Social Security and rely on my 401k for 8 years? Smart Asset. If you have $1 million in a 401k and collect a pension, you may be in a position to delay Social Security until age 70. Doing so can boost your monthly benefit by up to 24%. However, delaying Social Security will mean you'll have to rely more heavily on your savings for several years and the post. I have $1 million in savings and a pension. Should I delay Social Security and rely on my 401k for 8 years? Appeared first on Smart Reads by Smart Asset. Below are your comments. First step should be to roll over 401k balance to self-directed IRA account with two well-known brokerages. I use two institutions for risk mitigation purposes. If you have no better choice, suggest investing in S&P index fund with expectation of long-term compounded growth of about 8%. Many variables. But an apple-to-apple comparison would be drawing the same amount from your IRA as what you and possibly your spouse's SS benefit would be if you draw at 62. Odds are for someone who has saved $1 million, their combined SS at 62 would be north of $40K a year, or $320,000. So CA. These articles are propaganda to convince people to delay payments. Most people won't live long enough for the larger checks at 70 to overcome what they would have had if they started at 62. I've done this math. I'd have to live to 83 before the larger checks overcame the sum of payments from 62 to. If you want to maximize an inheritance, start SS sooner versus tapping investments. Lots of unknowns about where SS will be when you turn 70. Maybe a hybrid plan, retire somewhere in the middle. Remember the break-even analysis on SS on when to claim, too. The average pension benefit is $700 a month. That is not all that much. Next news. Ask an advisor. I have $680,000 in a 401k. A monthly pension of $1,600 and another $150,000 in cash. Can I retire at 62? Smart Asset. I currently have $680,000 in a 401k, $150,000 in savings and a pension of $1,600 per month. Can I retire at age 62? This is a good question, and the answer depends primarily on what your expenses are and how much you will collect from Social Security. What we can do here is the post. Ask an advisor. I have $680,000 in a 401k, a monthly pension of $1,600 and another $150,000 in cash. Can I retire at 62? Appeared first on Smart Reads by Smart Asset. Below are your comments. I have $4.9 million in 401k and a $5,000 pension. Can I retire? Agree with Thomas. I laugh. They never talk much about unexpected health issues and insurance cost prior to 65 and XP. CTED cost after Medicare. It's all about your lifestyle. I retired at 60 with 1.5 M after tax and around 40k income per year and have more money than I will ever need living a gray. No, you need $681,000 401k, $1,601 pension and $151,000 in cash. Don't try it otherwise. Honestly, one of the more realistic scenarios they've chosen to address in a while. I'd say yes as long as your mortgage, rent is manageable. Take SS at 62 and enjoy your retirement. I'm looking at having about $1.4 million in my retirement accounts at 62 and also plan to retire at 62 and take the early S. The key is your individual plan. You need to map out your planned income and planned expenses. You need to plan for inflation on your expenses and, where applicable, plan for cost of living increase, as is on your sources of income. Carry that out beyond your realistic life expectancy and see if the Next news. Bank of America warned consumers they would be pushed to the point of pawn. And CEO Brian Moynihan says we've now reached that point. Fortune. Brian Moynihan, the CEO of Bank of America, said although consumers are buying less, some families are beginning to spend more than they're bringing in. Below are your comments. The inflation battle is not over. It has not been won. Expect inflation to stick around 4 to 5% for a long time. That is not winning. Most people don't get 5% raises every year. Add to that we are about to hit a recession, you're going to see a lot of PPL struggling in 2024. Brand destruction is the only thing that is going to eliminate inflation. As long as people keep buying, prices will keep going up. They borrowed trillions for infrastructure and I don't see where the projects are. Did Joe just hand the money out to his union friends? The Biden regime prints money and shovels it out to their donor base under the guise of Green New Deal or inflation reduction. They cause inflation that the Fed is now raising interest rates to stop. Cross purposes? Who voted for this guy? It took more than 12 years to get ourselves into this mess. It is far from being over trying to get out of it. When the stock market tanks, job losses go up and housing will stumble as more houses foreclose as it's hard to make that $2,000 plus monthly note on unemployment. Next news. Jeremy Siegel says treasuries crashed because everyone forgot they're a bad inflation hedge while CKS do beautifully. Business Insider. We didn't have inflation for 40 years, so everyone sort of forgot about that bad inflation out. Wharton's Jeremy Siegel told CNBC. Below are your comments. A lot of investing depends on your age. When you're 30, roll the dice and go with stocks and mutual funds, etc. If you are in your 60s, getting the 5.5%+ on T-bills looks pretty good. It just depends where you are in the equation. Couldn't possibly have anything to do with increased credit risk driven by our out-of-control spending. Bond owners might be wanting more reward to go with this risk, especially with additional $2 trillion in debt this year and next. It is easy to backseat drive, especially after the fact. But Siegel is discounting what is going to happen when everyone realizes that the interest on the national debt is going to take our country down. Sad comment coming from a top economist, that we did not have inflation for 40 years is totally ABSU. Road, yes, we did have inflation, we did not have in those products that we consume because of gov subs. IDs, what really happened is that we had inflation without salary growth to go. Does fiduciary have no meaning to this man? Next news. P&G tops earnings and sales estimates after hiking prices. Yahoo Finance. P&G delivers another better than expected quarter. Below are your comments. Well, there you go. I have been saying that companies are beating estimates because they are raising prices. Does anyone else see that inflation is out of control? Cleveland-Cliff, Chipotle, P&G and others. With sales volumes down, profits and earnings increased. Tells you they raised prices more than their costs increased. In other words, they used inflation as an excuse to raise prices rather than a reason. They passed along all their cost increases and then some. Perhaps it is time for the American. And there's your inflation. P&G raise prices, not because of operating costs or materials cost, but because they have to top last year's sales. Don't blame the little guy that got a piddly raise in wages. Greedflation is benefiting P&G. As the consumer gets squeezed more and more, they will be buying cheaper alternatives when possible. Yes, corporate profiteering is one of the leading causes of inflation. Of course, monetary and fiscal policy around the world has played a big role, but increased corporate profits through price increases contributes mightily. Next news. Taxpayers in 13 states can file income taxes with the IRS for free in 2024. Here's how. USA Today. The IRS rolled out new details for how select taxpayers will be able to prepare and file their income taxes online directly with the IRS for free. Below are your comments. Having an elementary school intelligence level tax code would do wonders to help the masses do our own taxes. Seems like a pretty straightforward system, so my question is, why does the IRS need 50K plus new agents? And why are they allowed to carry firearms? What we need is a system like many countries in Europe. The IRS already knows how much we make, so have them send out a bill for that. If there's more income, like from an independent contractor, include it separately. That way we don't get penalized for adding it up wrong. People who would qualify will not choose to file this way unless that can get their refunds from Chill. D tax credit and earned income credit within 72 hours or less. Much more importantly, what about the state tax? Do I still need TurboTax to file my state tax? If so, not much use for free federal. Next news. Tesla could be in the midst of a strategic pivot. Here's what Wall Street expects from the EV maker's third-quarter earnings report. Business Insider. Tesla already reported third-quarter deliveries of 435,059, below Wall Street's expectations of 451,000 vehicles. Below are your comments. Tesla's market share of auto sales is shrinking and will continue to shrink as more choices become available. But TSLA is much more than a car company, so it will continue to be strong, just not in the car business. So their cars will no longer spontaneously combust? Funny how a quarterly sales miss of about 15,000 EVs is disappointing when other EV manufacturers bar Ely produced 15,000 EVs in total. Is it because the Musk haters have to go somewhere other than X to vent? Everyone's target is still $300 plus by EOI. EPS of 0.91? Though it was 0.81. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you like it, please thumbs up.